Let us discuss the next question now. This is from 2023. Consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution Day. Statement 1. Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every year to promote the constitutional values among the citizens. Statement 2. On 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft constitution of India. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Option A. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 is the correct explanation for 1. Option B. Both 1 and 2 are correct but the statement 2 is not the correct explanation. Option C. Statement 1 is correct but 2 is wrong. Option D. Statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. So if you look at the statements, you will know that in the first two statements, it says that both are correct and 1 is the correct explanation. 2 is the correct explanation for 1. In the second statement also they say that both are correct and 2 is not the correct explanation. In the third statement they say 1 is correct, 1 is incorrect. And the fourth they say 1 is incorrect and another 1 is correct. So by this you need to understand that definitely there is one correct statement in this. So it can happen that one statement is correct, one statement is incorrect, or both the statements are correct and one is the correct explanation or it may not be the correct explanation. So by logical reasoning we understand that there is definitely a correct statement here. Now going through the questions. Constitution Day is celebrated on 26 November every year to promote the constitutional values among citizens. If you recall the major milestone days of the Constitution, on 26 November 1949, it was the day in which we adopted the Constitution. So that is why we celebrate that day as Samvidhana Divas or the Constitution Day. So definitely we celebrate that day as Samvidhan Divas and we try to promote the constitutional values among the citizen by spreading awareness about our Constitution. So statement 1 is correct. Now coming to statement 2, this could be correct or incorrect. On 26 November 1949, the Constitution of Assembly set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Ambedkar. So here the statement says that on 26 November 1949 we set up the drafting committee. So this is wrong because on this date the Constitution was adopted. We didn't set up the drafting committee. Now think with logic. Initially you have to set up the drafting committee who draft the Constitution and they'll take some time and we took a very long time and after that finally we adopted the Constitution and later on the Constitution came into force. So now on the day the Constitution was adopted, can we set up the drafting committee on the same day? That doesn't make sense. The drafting committee should have been set up much longer before that day. So this date doesn't make sense with the drafting committee's date. Even though the second half of the statement which says that B.R. Ambedkar is the chairman of the drafting committee, that part is correct. But the date is not correct with the event. So this is wrong. So which of the following is correct? Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So answer is C. Now this was the method how you should think in the exam and solve the question. Now let us discuss the in-depth provisions, and this is a repeated theme again about the major milestones in the Constitution. Every time they are asking a question about sometimes they'll ask about the president, sometimes they'll ask about the interim president, sometimes they'll ask about the day the national song or national anthem was adopted. So this is a repeated theme. Important events of Constituent Assembly. On December 9th, 1946, the first session of the Constituent Assembly took place, and in this session there was an interim president, that is the Sachidananda Sinha, Dr. Sinha, who was the eldest member of the house. He was chosen to conduct the affairs of the house. And after that, on 11th December 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president, and we had two vice presidents. One is H.C. Mukherjee and the other vice president is V.T. Krishnamachari. And B.N. Rao was selected as the constitutional legal advisor. Later on in 1947, on July 22nd, we adopted the national flag, and in the same year in 1947, on 29th August, the drafting committee was set up. So if you come back to the question, the date which says 26th November is wrong because it was on 29th August 1947 the drafting committee was set up. And there were 7 members in the drafting committee, and B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman, and the other members were Gopal Swami Iyengar, Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyengar, K.M. Munshi, Syed Muhammad Sadaullah, and B.L. Mittar was there initially, but later on due to ill health and old age, he resigned, and in his place, Madhav Rao was selected. And initially, Kaitan was there, and because he passed away in 1948, later in his place, T.T. Krishnamacharya was selected as the member. Even the members of the drafting committee are also important because there are questions on this aspect. And finally, on 26th November 1949, the constitution was adopted, which day we celebrate as the Samvidhan Divas or the Constitution Day, and we use that day to spread awareness among the citizens about the constitution. And later on 26th January 1950, the constitution came into force and India became a republic technically. And just few days before that, the adoption of national song and national anthem happened. Why I have put this information here is, next you can expect questions on these aspects. So coming back to our question. So the statement which says on 26 November 1949, the Constituent Assembly was adopted. It was not the day on which the drafting committee was set up. So this statement is wrong. Hence the correct answer is C for this question.